we are working with minorities, we are working with the voiceless. We have to provide them with a voice. You are very lucky to be here in Nepal. You are not experiencing women, particularly in girls. You are not experiencing genital mutilation. I am a man, but I cried. Real man cry. I was in Somalia visiting the ward. You know what is happening in Somalia, right? But they provided me with security just to see and met all these girls and women. Some are dying because of the infection due to genital mutilation. Nobody provided with a voice because it's part of the culture. What if it will happen to you? I lost a brother. How much more if you are going to lose a mother, a sister, or a child just because of culture? We give them education. How we are going to do it? Particularly in a world that is so patriarchal, in a world that men dominate, that women are treated as second class. Nepali women, you are very, very lucky. The Constitution is not perfect, but I hope that will serve as a platform to a better Nepal. A Nepal with empowered women. Right? Don't cry. Actually, that's a picture of a Maasai woman. They are a nomadic tribe in East Africa, particularly in Tanzania and Kenya. Culture of transparency. We will not be talking about corruption here if we have empowered people. Believe me, even in the United States, in UK, in other well-developed countries, corruption is very, very eminent. Sometimes there is a speculations because the developing nations like Nepal, they have a hand. Some people said the developed nation rather, they are the one who encourage corruption. I don't have a data. I don't have any evidence to validate that. But that is there. Sometimes things are existing, but we cannot explain, but it's there. And this is one. The culture of transparency. While walking in some villages in Lamjong, people are complaining, Juanito, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this, we don't have this. I'm asking them, when you are going to have that? You are going to have that when there is empowerment, there is transparency. Okay? You are very lucky enough to be seated in this air-conditioned room right now. But if you are going to look at the villages, they don't have this kind of luxury. So take that luxury in your hand, treasure it. You are here not because who your parents are, who you are, but it's because we have a social responsibility to look after. I think nobody dreamed of Nepal, that Nepal will remain a developing country. All of us dream. But we have to remember when we will go to the field, it's a different scenario. It's a different scenario. Sometimes when you are sitting here in the central office, you will get angry with the people in the field because they will not respond to your text messages or to your email immediately. What if you are on the top of Karafu? What if you are in Mugu? At the beginning, I complained, but when I went to Mugu, I have to walk for 3 days. And I'm not used to walking. I have 2 heart surgeries. So we need to understand. Understanding is a key. And we need to be transparent because sometimes we wanted to get the message across, but they will not understand us because we are not so transparent. Asian in general, Filipinos, Nepalis, Indian, we have the tendency to withhold things because we don't want to embarrass. Okay? We always wanted to have a face value. And the funny thing is, That's the reason why we always put whitening cream, but we forget to put in our neck. So you have a very white face, but that is face value. And that is related to what we have here. So you have to be transparent. You have to be appreciative of the things that you can see. Tell them what you have. Tell them what you want, and listen. It all boils down to communication. Please. The culture of reflective practice. This is intended for you. And I share this one with the people who attended the International Volunteers Day in the headquarters in Kenya. Now, culture of reflective practice. We are too busy with everything. We wanted to be on the top that we have to step on the others. Right? We need to relax. We need to sit down. And we have to find out what's really the problem. Armed struggle is not an answer. At the height of the Afghanistan war, I was sent there for 1 week. It was not easy to run from the plane to the convoy, running, and staying in a place that you don't know where you are. What is the reason? They lack this. Okay. I'm not saying to the Afghanis. I'm saying to the superpowers of the world. They have the influence. And I have to tell you this. Learn from the lessons of the Philippines. The Philippines is one of the most prosperous nations way back in the 60s and the 70s, and they used models. At that time, I can still remember when I was a kid, way back in the early 80s, that we have students coming all over Asia. And that was also the first time that I met people from Nepal. They come to the Philippines to study. But what happened to my nation? Right after 20 years, we are competing with Japan. We went down. It's because of this. We do not sit down. We do not want to talk. Everybody thinks to be on the top. And if we are going to do that as citizens, the influence, the power of the developed nations, they will take to grip into it. And I have to remind you, because you will be in key positions later on, funding is not a free lunch. I'm working for an international funding agency, but always remember, there is always an underside to it. You might be saying that the economy of Nepal is increasing, but you don't know it's because of the funders' money. And that happens to Kenya. That will happen also to Nepal if you are not careful about it. You will be in debt forever. You have to remember you are sandwiched between these two giants. So this is a time for Nepalis. There's time for you guys to reflect how to make your nation self-sustainable. Electricity, for example. You have good resources. Where are you buying? Who are these people who are controlling your hydro companies? Visiting hospitals, I noticed that medicines are too expensive. Well, it might cost 300 rupees, 100 rupees, but go to the field. You will find out. We have to remember, here in Kathmandu, we will not survive without the people surrounding the valley. We are too dependent. We just have to cook easily. Okay? We can just buy. But without these farmers in the field, nothing. Okay, this is one of the Maasai women that I stayed with for several months. Now, one of my American friends, and until now we are laughing about it, about our experience. He said, Juanito, they are so poor. We have to help them. And I said, back in the States, you have a house? He said, no, I'm renting. How many cars you have? I have 2. Did you buy it cash? He said, no. I buy it by loans. But look at this woman. This woman have 200 goats and 300 oxen. Is she poor? You can easily plot. You can be self-sustainable. Just believe. Just think what to do. Culture of sharing, not cheering. Okay. This is a mutton. And I wanted to close my eyes because we have to eat it without the salt and it's still bloody. And I'm hungry because for the whole day I was on the trip going to the village. But do you know that people who are voiceless, they are the one who easily cooperate. They are the one who always share. For us in the city, we don't know even our neighbors. We just say hi, hello. In fact, I have some neighbors that we just talk on the rooftop. That's the new long distance, I think they call it the Nepali communication. We are on the top of each other's houses and shouting. That's the only time that we talk. We learn sharing from them, the culture of sharing. Okay? We might not have it, but we can be a medium. Okay? We can be a medium. So as I said, these are the personal learnings, the second part. Acculturation. Respect, integration, and tolerance. This is a very common thing. The Philippines was colonized by the Americans for 50 years, by the Spaniards for more than 365 years. That's the reason why we Filipinos, we have 3 national languages, English, Spanish, and Filipino. But sad to say, not everybody is using a Filipino. And you will easily know that the Filipinos are arguing or fighting with each other because they speak English. Because Filipinos are like Nepalis. They came from different groups. And they have their own languages and they have their own different culture. The good thing in Nepal, you are one landlocked. We are separated by separated by islands. So it means personalities, cultures, and traditions are different. It is composed of more than 7,000 archipelagos. Now, respect, integration, and tolerance is very, very, very interesting. I was traveling from different parts of the world, modesty aside. I've been to 56 countries. But the first time that I feel so discriminated was in Africa. VSO is an international organization, just like the UN. But when I arrived there, they told me, we don't like you here. Oh my God, I said, I leave my country, I leave my profession, and I leave the comfort of my home just to be told blankly, we don't want you to be here. It's because they wanted Europeans and Americans, the one with white skin. Because to them, volunteers are a status symbol. Having a Muzungu friends or having a Bedisi friends with a white skin, that is a status symbol. He said, how am I going to live here for the next couple of months? And that was the time that I was still starting. Don't give up. Don't give up. Try your best and show them who you are. And from that moment on, I realized why some Africans are discriminated because they are discriminating. I told them that. So if we Nepalis will discriminate other Nepalis, we will be discriminated in other parts of the world. Be proud. Okay? But not boastful. Okay? Yeah, that's the key. And then later on, they cried when I was about to leave. We are very sorry we prejudge you. And to be honest with, we have that then tendency to prejudge, particularly in the community where we are going to work with. Catalyst of change. Why Barack Obama won for 2 terms? Everybody longed for change, and this is one thing that we have to be very careful of. If you are in a position, if you are in power, we have to remember this. It's not because we want to be there only. It's because people are behind it. People can make us, and people also will bring us down. So our treasure first and foremost is our families. Change will start from us and our families. Don't worry if there's one member of your family, because there's always a black sheep. Okay? I might be one of them. Okay. Always believe that you, me, we can be a catalyst of change. Because if you don't believe, then no change will happen. We are just a point, a small particle of just part of the atom, but you can make a lot of difference. Total human value formation. My father asked me one time when I was in grade 3, okay, or level 3 here, because I was learning geography at the time. He asked me why most of the most developed nations are in the northernmost hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. Like Nepal, India, Philippines, most Latin Americas, in the equator, near the equator. These are the tropical and subtropical. These are countries that can produce throughout the year. But why we are not rich? Why we are not so sustainable? Because every day, particularly for tropical and subtropical countries like Nepal, there's always a tomorrow where we can plant, where we can harvest, or we can just steal our neighbor's vegetables and we can eat. Right? We have to learn a lesson from the northern countries and southern hemisphere. They have harsh winter, harsh than here. So they have to save and plan. So it's not surprising for Nepalis abroad that they will come very, very successful. It's because they learned the lesson by heart. But how we are going to bring this one, total human value formation, and this is one of the experience that I have in the field. Funding agencies will give money, money, and money, and money. The depth of the mission also is increasing. If you're going to read the report to these agencies, it's all positive. Numbers are increasing. But in reality, when you go back to the field, you will be disappointed if you will be doing monitoring and evaluation. Why? It's not a reality. But we cannot blame them. They need livelihood. But one thing I would like to say here, when we have to work with our heart also. Okay, you love your work, you love also the money that you are going to have. You will be well compensated. But my point is, we have so many projects, but we always forget to include the total human value formation in our project. We just wanted to keep money rolling. It's happy to see new constructions, new gardens, new buildings. Just like we have so many, I'm sharing this one. We have so many structures built during the earthquake, but these structures, when you go to the field, they are not used. These are white elephants. Why? Because the people were not trained to be accountable. They were not trained to do it with the heart when they will do the service, so they're just going to leave it. Like, why we have to put up a hospital when there's no doctor? Let's have a doctor first, because even without a hospital, doctor is there. You are there. Social workers are there. It's not difficult to travel. One of my experience is language, but you need to smile. So I'm joking that even if I don't know until now, maybe Sarmala later will teach me what is the Nepali of I will kill you, because if you're going to say it in front of me right now, I will just smile. The smile diplomacy. Okay? The smile diplomacy. But be sincere with your smile. I can recognize a fake smile. That is what we call, as I call it, the toothpaste smile. Okay. That's the only thing. Any problems can be solved. Any person can calm down. That's what you need in the field. Social work is the heart of humanity, the missing link of the state to the society. But the social worker is the lifeblood that provides the heartbeat of the society. Without social work, without social workers, nothing. So be proud to be a social worker. Okay? And dream big. Okay? But don't forget to do action for your dream to happen. For our students, study in order for you to achieve your diploma, your degree. When you agree, then you are going to find work that is earning money. If you have money and the capacity, then you can help more. As we say in Filipino, maraming salamat po o danyabat.